What's going on, guys? Elijah Porter here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 2 of my Ford Focus restoration series. If you missed part 1, feel free to go watch it, link in the description box below. But if you missed it, here was the gist. Basically, I ordered $1,000 worth of stuff from the Chemical Guys website to try and restore my 2014 Ford Focus. Now, spending $1,000 on detailing stuff to restore such an old car seems kind of dumb, but ultimately this car is leaving the garage. It's time to get a new daily, and I figured if I can put a little bit of money into it to hopefully get it better and get a better selling price, it'll all be worth it. Plus, detailing cars is something I'm kind of into. I love watching detailing car content. I want to be better at it for my own personal cars, and I figured what a great chance to be able to try on my kind of used and abused 2014 Ford Focus. But anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get to the restoration. First of all, before we get cleaning, let me go ahead and tell you guys that most of the paint work that needed to be redone has been redone. The bumper has already been repainted. Most of my rock chips have already been touched up. The only issue I'm still kind of having is with these two spots on the roof. I'm not sure how well they're going to come up because the sun is really bright right now, but I've got these two spots and honestly, I don't really know what's going on with them. Hopefully they come out with polishing, but we'll see. If not, we may have to kind of touch up the paint work there. But anyway, what we're going to be doing is pressure washing the car because it is honestly filthy. It's so bad. I don't even know the last time I actually washed the car. After we pressure wash it, we're going to be giving it a full wash with the foam cannon. Let's go ahead and get going with washing the car. Just from giving the car a good pressure wash, it already looks about 1,000 times better. But now we're going to go ahead and move on to using the foam cannon from Chemical Guys. Again, I'm not going to go through each product necessarily in this video. If you want to know each product step by step that I use, go ahead and check out part 1 of this video. Again, link in the description box below. So we got the car back into the garage, and even the washing, it literally took forever. I thought the pressure washing and washing the car part would take like 20 minutes. It literally took me over an hour just because dirt just kept coming out of everything. But anyway, the car is now back in the garage, and unfortunately, I think the washing was the easy part. Next step is to clay down the entire car. So we have the OG clay bar, like the medium grade clay bar, and the clay luber. Now, of course, this video is definitely not a how-to on how to detail a car. If you really want to know what to do, I highly suggest watching Chemical Guys videos on YouTube, or Ammo NYC is another great detailing channel I like to use. You should go subscribe to both of their channels. But anyway, one thing I do know is that you want to use this very liberally over the whole car. Honestly, this is probably the step I'm dreading the most, and that included touching up about 8,000 paint chips on the front of the car with like a little tiny detailing pin. So yeah, let's just get after it. So just after claying this one side of the car, I can already tell a huge difference in the paint. The clay is really dirty. I might actually swap it out before I even do the rest of the car, but the paint feels amazing to the touch. It's nice and smooth. The reflection in it is so much better. There's some pretty serious like tiger striping on the side, which is obviously hopefully going to come out with polishing, but a lot of it actually came out with just the clay bar, and so very happy about that. But yeah, the shine is amazing even after just doing clay. And now it is time to finally polish the car. This is the step I am most excited about. I cannot wait to finally redo this hood, get those spots on top of the roof taken care of and all of that. So obviously I'm a novice to this. I don't really know what I'm doing yet. You know, I've done a lot of research and everything, but I'm not really sure exactly what to go with. If you don't know, the line of polishes they have run from like 32 to 38, and the 32 is like the hardest one, like the most like severe, and the 38 is like for a final polish. So what I'm going to do is go with the V34 for the hood, because it's a kind of hybrid in the middle, and the hood does look pretty rough in my opinion, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's actually not that bad. And I'm also going to use the orange foam pad, because again, this is a medium pad. I'm just going to try the combination of these two, see how it goes. If it's not going well enough, we'll switch to something a little more harsh. All right, so I opened the garage door to kind of get a little bit better, but I did this whole side with just the V34, and I just wiped it all off, and it looks pretty good. Here's the best thing I can see. You can see my light and the reflection there. It's not really showing up, but you can see the 3 individual lights in person, and then if I come over to this side, look at that reflection. It just basically like disappears compared to the polished side. Okay, so that pad and compound was doing a really good job over on that side, but this side is a little bit worse, and it's just not doing that great. So to redo that, I'm going to step up to the yellow pad and the V32 compound. Hopefully this helps get out those more stubborn marks that I can't get out, and I'm probably going to have to use this for the roof anyway. So I'll just go ahead and tackle the hood with this first. All right, upping the compound was definitely the way to go. It got rid of those marks with no problem, and way less work than what was happening. It actually made the other side look like I haven't even detailed it yet. It's back to looking very flat compared to the new side. So I'm just gonna redo the whole hood in that compound, and then probably do the rest of the car in it as well, now that I know kind of what I know. But yeah, this is what this is all about, learning process. Like I said, was it worth putting all this money into this car? Probably not, but the learning experience that this car is able to provide is kind of invaluable. So I did the whole thing in the V32 polish with the yellow pad, and wow, the results are so much better. This hood, like I said, never really came across on camera how bad it was. So now we're gonna try to tackle probably the hardest part of this car. We have this paint scuff thing here, whatever's going on there, not sure, and then this spot. All right, so I've been polishing these spots for a while now, and as you can see, this one in the back came out really well. You can hardly tell that it was there. I'm very satisfied with how this came out, and this spot, however, I'm not as happy with how it came out. You can still see it clearly there. I think I'm gonna be done for tonight. I've been working at this for hours. Yeah, it's getting really late at night. I haven't even eaten dinner. So anyway, I'm gonna go eat, get some sleep, and get back to this tomorrow. So I'll see you, well, for you it's gonna be like 5 seconds. But anyway, I'm gonna come back to this tomorrow and finish up the rest of the car. And now I'm back. And yeah, it was nice to get a break. I worked for so long yesterday. I actually ended up polishing that side of the car after I stopped filming. But anyway, what's left to do? I've got to do the other half of the roof. I've got to do this entire side of the car. We got to do the rear hatch and the rear bumper. The whole car has now been hit with the V32 and the yellow pad. I've done everything. Now I'm gonna go back over it with the V38 and a lighter pad. Not sure yet. Thinking about going with the green pad. It's like a heavy polishing pad. Anyway, I'm not gonna film all that because we've had enough film of me just buffing the car, and it's gonna be the same process I just did. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna pull this car out and wash it again, and then it's time to tackle the interior. I decided that before I actually wash the car, I want to go ahead and take care of the interior. So the interior of this car is actually in pretty good shape given the age and the mileage. I mean, it's had, you know, 50,000 miles of me delivering pizza in it. It's lots of commuting and the dog in the back and everything, and it's in surprisingly good shape. So first of all, we're going to give it a good vacuum. Then we're going to power wash the WeatherTech mats and use the Matte Renew on them with the stiff brush. Well, I've been vacuuming out the car, and this car has gone to the beach a lot, so there was a lot of sand in the carpet, and that is really hard to get out. You can see it's not perfect, but I used this little fabric brush to kind of loosen up the sand and then vacuumed it up with the vacuum cleaner, and that seemed to work pretty well. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we're actually going to take the fabric cleaner and actually brush out the carpet with the fabric cleaner. So the fabric clean comes in a concentrated solution, which means you need to mix it up with water. So I just threw it in an old spray bottle that I had for like old cleaner. All right, now according to the Chemical Guys website, there's a couple things we can do at this point. We can either let it just air dry. We could take a steam cleaner and kind of get it all out like a steam vacuum, which I actually do have, but that seems a little excessive for this car. Or we can try to vacuum it and then wipe as much of it up with the microfiber and let it dry. That's what we're gonna do. The carpets are all nice and clean. They are drying. The WeatherTech mats are drying as well. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to all the interior plastics. Now to clean that, I have two different things. Number one, we have the Nonsense Invisible Cleaner. And then we also have this. It is a total interior cleaner and protectant. Let's go hit the other door and the other side seat, and then we'll move on to the dash. All right, so I just went ahead and took care of all the door jams using the Nonsense cleaner, the bristle brush, and a microfiber. Went ahead and did the around the trunk as well. All this much cleaner than it was. I didn't take a before of this, but it was just filthy dirt everywhere. There's still some, but I got as much as I could. All these door jams are looking nice. Did the side of the doors and the bottom of the doors as well. And yeah, looking really good. So next step is to clean off the dash and the steering wheel and everything. Then we'll do the seats. The interior is done and looking really, really nice. I'm pretty happy with it. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the WeatherTech floor mats down there, as well as in the back. I'm pretty happy with the way the mat renew turned out. I mean, these are really faded and really old, and they still look pretty good. You can still see, you know, some brown and gray is not like jet black like they were when they were brand new. But overall, a pretty impressive job. All right, and just like that, the interior is finally all done, but we're not done. First of all, the outside of the car got absolutely filthy while I was polishing it. There is polish everywhere. So we're gonna re-power wash it. Wheels still need to be done as well. Never actually cleaned those with the wheel cleaner and the brush. So we still got a good bit to do, but we are rounding third base, getting to the end of this restoration. The car has now been washed and dried, and we're moving on to the last step before we move on to our finishing touches. Anyway, what we're going to do here, we have our wheel cleaner and we have our green wheel brush that we're going to use to clean off these wheels, as well as a microfiber cleaner. The brush isn't working out so well, so I think I'm going to try the rag instead. The wheel looks pretty good, and honestly, the wheel cleaner works great. The stuff came right off. It's just a matter of actually reaching it with how intricate these wheels are. But you can see now the rim looks nice and shiny, looking very good. Unfortunately for me, I still have 3 more wheels to do. I just pulled the car in from washing it, and wow, it looks amazing. I really cannot believe this is the same car that I started with. Like I said, I don't think my changes are coming across on camera, and I'm not doing a great job of filming a before and after. But I'm having a little bit of dilemma because there are several things we could do with this paint to finish it off. And I have the products to do it. And so we're going to apply a ceramic coating to the car. After that, we're gonna apply a sealant, a glaze, a sealant, and then a wax. And I have all those products here. But if you remember from part 1, all of these bottles together cost all of these products and the wax together cost $120. So, do I really want to use them on this car? I think we're just going to apply these products to the hood just to see how they look, get a feel for the products, how to use them, and that way I get to try them, but I don't waste a lot, because I would much rather save these for like the Porsche, my wife's BMW, and whatever daily car I end up getting next. I would much rather save these for something a little nicer. I just don't think the return is there on using them on this car. So first of all, we're going to start with the ceramic coating because it has to sit after we use it. We're going to do like 4, oh gosh. We're just going to do 4 little dots. Stuff is kind of hard to squeeze out. Okay. All right, so while I let that sit for a second before I buff it off, now is a great time to tell you that literally right before I did this, I watched the Chemical Guys YouTube video on how to do this before I started it, and I've done that for almost everything on the car. Their channel is a great resource on how to use their specific products. All right, well, I just wiped it off, buffed it with the microfiber towel, and like I said, not sure if it's coming across on camera, but the shine on this little section here is much better than the middle. We're gonna go ahead and tackle the rest of the hood, and then like I said, it has to sit for a little while, and we're gonna do some other stuff while we wait for it. Okay, so I did the entire hood and everything, and then I actually still had a little bit that I wanted to do, so I went ahead and did the front quarter panels. So next step is going to be to apply a glaze, but unfortunately this needs to sit for about 2 to 3 hours. Next thing we're going to do is go over all of the plastic trim with our tire and trim gel. All right, I'm going to start off by doing this area right here by the window. It's pretty grayed out, not black and new like it should be. I've also got this area by the windshield wipers to do. All right, notice on my little blue towel here, I just have the smallest little dab of this stuff. We're gonna go ahead and apply it right here. We're just gonna wipe it on. And you can already see just how much better that looks. Now, right now it looks kind of wet and greasy, but that look will go away. Okay, I went around the whole car and did all the trim. I did right here underneath the windshield wiper stalks. Did the windshield wiper spindles themselves because they were really faded out. But right now we're gonna go ahead and get the glass clean. Now, getting the glass clean is like the bane of my existence. It's so hard to do. Luckily, I've been using the glass cleaner that Chemical Guys has on my cars for a while now, and this is definitely the best product. And having a waffle weave towel is key. Glass is all done, looking nice and clean and reflective. You can see my reflection. What's up, YouTube? Yeah, wow, the car just coming together so well in my opinion. I have terrible lighting in here. I know it's not coming across, but I am so impressed with how it's coming along. I'm almost going to be sad to get rid of it. Almost. All right, tire shine is all on the tires. They're looking good. So now at this point, I've got to still wait like another hour, hour and a half to get to that. And it is getting late at night again. I think we're going to have to just wait until tomorrow to finish this up. Very excited with how it's turning out. I will see you guys tomorrow. And it's day 3 of restoring the Ford. So the ceramic coating has had plenty of time to sit and cure. So we're gonna move on to the glaze part. Now I should go ahead and say glaze isn't necessarily necessary if you've already done a ceramic coating. Glaze is really good if you, first of all, haven't even polished the car. It's good for filling in those little scratches and swirls. But it is supposed to kind of bring out the shine after doing a ceramic coating. So we're gonna be laying on glaze very thin. So we have our Easy Cream glaze here, and we want to shake it up, which I already did off camera, and we're going to go ahead and apply it to the car. Now basically we do this the exact same way that we do the ceramic coating. The good thing with this is it only needs to sit for about 15 minutes before we can do the sealant step. Okay, the hood and the headlights are all glazed up. All right, so I waited about 10 minutes to buff it off because it is very warm today, and so you can kind of cut down the time if it's a little warmer. So waited 10 minutes, buffed it off. Next step is to apply the sealant. We're basically gonna apply the sealant the exact same way, but we are gonna lay it on a little thicker, and then we have to wait 20 minutes for it to dry as well. All right, we have reached the final step. I just buffed off the sealant. Car looks great. And last thing is to wax using the butter wet wax from Chemical Guys, of course. And yeah, we apply this basically the same way we've applied everything else. So the Ford is all done now. I just finished waxing it, and I can't wait to pull it outside, see what it looks like, and get some epic shots. But before we do that, I want to go over a couple things. Yes, I really did spend about $1,000 on Chemical Guys products and also paint restoration things. I spent about $150 to $200 on paint to redo that bumper, rock chips, all that stuff. So that money doesn't really factor in. And then of course, I didn't really spend $1,000 on stuff just for this car. I have these products to use forever. A sizable chunk of that was the polisher. Well, I can use that on every car I get going forward. I have enough product to probably fully detail 50 cars the way I did with the Ford. So that money is more of an investment in my future cars. You know, I have the Porsche, we have the BMW X3, I'll be getting a new daily car. So those products will help to maintain the quality of our cars, which could save us some money in the long run. So I'm sure the big question that you all want answered is, was it worth it? So first of all, let's talk about our time. I spent at least 15 hours working on this car. It took a long time, over multiple days. Now, of course, I had to stop and research things and stop and redo stuff that I had already done to make it better. Time is your most valuable resource, right? You can go to work, make more money. You can't make more time. Actual money spent to do this is kind of hard to calculate. Obviously, I spent about $200 on paint restoration, and then the products is more hard to calculate because I have so much of it left over. So is it worth it to buy your own stuff and do it, or should you just hire somebody? I think I added, just thinking about me as a buyer, I think I added about $500 at least worth of value to the car, maybe even more. You know, to get someone to do this professionally probably would have cost like, I don't know, $300 to $500. I could be off, but I think that's about right. For me, definitely worth it to buy your own products and do it yourself, especially if you're really gonna take the time to learn to do it right. If that is not something you enjoy, then you probably didn't even click on this video. But if that's not something you enjoy, I think it's worth it to at least get your car detailed before you try to sell it. So anyway, that was a lot of talking. This has been a really, really long video. Thank you for sticking around. As a reward, we're gonna look at this car out in the beautiful Florida sunshine. We have reached the end of what I'm sure was a very long video. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching the whole thing. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel with the YouTube algorithm. If you enjoy motorcycle, car, travel, daily life vlog content, please consider subscribing. It really means a lot to me if you would do so. If you want to restore your own car like I did with the Ford, please use the link in the description box below to get 15% off your first order with Chemical Guys as well. And with that being said, I can't thank you guys enough, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.